This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening, all of you. Today we are discussing about how to see list of constraints defined on a table. How to see list of constraints defined on a table. From where we can select constraints information of a table. Before going to that, I want to introduce something to you. See, how can I see list of tables? Generally, we are using select star from tab. Then it is displaying list of tables in your user account. Instead of tab, you can also use user underscore tables. You can also use user underscore tables. See here, select table name from user underscore tables. What is user underscore tables? User underscore tables. It is a system defined view. System defined view. It is maintaining list of all tables from current user account. Again, I am repeating. What is this? It is a system defined view. It is maintaining list of all tables created by current user. So here current username is Dinesh830. Whatever the tables created by Dinesh830, all tables information you can get from this system defined view. See, is it displaying the tables or not? Immediately we have a doubt. Sir, what is the difference between select star from tab and select table name from user underscore tables? Again, I am repeating. See here. Let me delete a table departments. Drop table departments. Before that, observe carefully all of you. Here, total 6 rows selected. 6 table names it is displaying. User tables. It is also displaying 6 tables. Now I am deleting one table. Table dropped. Deleted. Now select star from tab. How many lines it is displaying? Even one table deleted, tab is displaying that deleted table also. Already we discussed it. Deleted tables are saved under recycle bin. So if you select information from tab, it will display object names from current user account and also object names from recycle bin. Tab is giving that. In case if I execute select table name from user underscore tables, see, now you can see the very clear difference between these two. So tab is giving names from existing account and also from recycle bin, but user tables is displaying only existing account tables. It will not get information from recycle bin. This is the difference between tab and user underscore tables. Again, I am repeating, user tables. It is a system defined view. Don't worry about view. View is also like table. You will understand whenever we are discussing about views. View is also like a table. So what it contains? It maintains table names from current user account. Similarly, user tables is having tables information. Similarly, user constraints, it is having constraints information. So it contains all constraints information from current user account. It contains all constraints information from current user account. So this is also system defined view. This is also system defined view. It is having tables information. This is having constraints information. Suppose user indexes. Then it has indexes information. Suppose user views. It has views information. I hope you understand now. So if you want to get constraints information, we have two system defined views, user constraints, whereas one more, user cons columns. Two views are there. These two are maintaining constraints information. Now, how to get constraints information of a table? Yesterday, we have two tables. Select star from student. Key constraints are there. Select star from stud. On the student table, we defined only key constraints. On the stud table, we defined both key constraints and also domain constraints. Now, see here. How to get constraints from student table? How to get constraints from student table? Select constraint name, comma, constraint. Hello? Okay. Okay. Some people are hearing, some people are not hearing. Please check your audio connections, guys. If you are unable to listen, if some people are listening means the problem is at your end. Some people, all people are not listening means the problem is at my end. Okay, please, whenever if you are unable to listen, just disconnect the what is that headset plug and again reconnect. Yeah. Now, let us see, guys. After select command, we can write column names. These columns are available from which table? Here our table name is nothing but user underscore constraints. Okay. So if you select this column data, it will take constraint names, all constraint names, all constraint types, all status of the constraints. But I want to know constraints information from only student table, where what is the table name? Table name is equal to student. Remember, all of you. See, constraint name, constraint type, status, and also table name. Four column names I am using. From which table? User constraints. So actually we defined not null, not null, not null, primary key, unique. Actually we defined. But here it is not giving any names like that. It is giving numbers instead of names. Why? Each constraint on any table, each constraint is maintained with a default number generated by Oracle Engine. Every constraint is managed by using a number. That number is generated by Oracle Engine. See, first three constraints represented with C. C means not null. First three constraints are represented with C, means not null. P for primary key, U for unique. What is the default status of constraint? Enabled. What is the default status of constraint? Enabled. Hope you understand. So here, what is the problem? This constraint defined on which column? We don't know. Next constraint defined on which column? We don't know. So you are unable to find out on which column constraint was defined. Listen carefully, guys. I forgot about spool file. So again, I am repeating the process. Listen carefully. Spool. Where is the spool file? Colon slash users, under users Dinesh user, under Dinesh desktop, under desktop there is Oracle spool files. There is a folder under that. So day 10 already completed yesterday. Now we are discussing about day 11. Day 11.txt. Here you don't have day 11. I don't know why day 12 didn't understand. So let me take it as day 11.txt. Hit enter. Whenever you are hitting enter, immediately you can see that document in your folder. Let me close the folder and start. What is my first question? We are discussing about user constraints, and similarly another table is, or another system defined view is user cons columns. What are these things? These are system defined views. What they contain? They contain user defined constraints from current user account. User defined constraints. Simple. They contain constraints. Let me write like that. They contain constraints from current user account. User account. All table constraints. Now, what is my next question? How to get constraints defined on a table? There is some table, student. From that table, I want to see all constraints. How can I see? See, you can select like this. Select constraint name. and constraint type and constraint status. From which table? User constraints, where table name equal to only from student table I want to see that information. According to this, you should understand one point. Each constraint maintained with system defined number, but by seeing that number, we can't identify on which column it was defined, and it is not easy to identify type of the constraint also. Suppose sys underscore C009244. On which column it was defined? Directly I can't find out, but by using the second table, user cons columns, we can identify on which column the constraint was defined. See, here I am typing the query, find out on which column the constraint sys underscore C 00, the constraint sys underscore C 009244 was defined. 9244 was defined. On which column it was defined? How can I find out? You can find out like this. See, what do you want to display? Column name. On which column it was defined? Column name. From which table? User cons columns. Where from actually this is a number from which table? Student table. Where table name is equal to student. In this table, I know constraint name. Constraint name is equal to, what is the constraint name? Sys underscore C 009246, I think. 9244. Okay. In this table, with this name, constraint was defined on some column. What is that column? It will select your column. On which column the constraint was defined? Course column. I maintain my own names. User cons columns is known as a system defined table or system defined view. Now, let me go for next process. So I explained how to get constraints information from a table. Here, get constraints information from the table stood. Select constraint name, comma, constraint type, comma, status of constraint. From user constraints, where table name is equal to stood. One point you should remember here, all of you see, table name equal to student. Here I am giving student table name in capital case. Here also you should specify table name in capital case. If you specify table name in small case, you don't get any data. Whenever you are taking information from system defined tables, whenever you are taking information from system defined tables, in the condition part, you should specify table name in capital case. Otherwise, you don't get your information. Change stud table name in capital, then you will get the constraints. On the stud table, total constraints are 10 constraints. See, see here, how many constraints represented with C? 8 constraints. In these 8 constraints, 3 constraints are not null. 5 constraints are check. So if you have doubt, you can verify in the last class. See, there is a table. See here. On this, not null, not null, not null. 3 not null constraints. How many check constraints? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not null and check constraints both are represented with the same character C. We cannot differentiate which is not null, which is a check constraint. This is also one of the problem in maintaining system defined constraint numbers. One of the complaint, if you maintain constraint numbers instead of numbers, how to maintain user defined names for constraints. Instead of numbers, how to maintain user defined names for constraints. Can I define user defined name for constraint? Yes, you can define. How it is? See, constraints with user defined names or user friendly names. How to define that constraint? See, column name, data type, size. We know up to here. After size, generally we are writing constraint name. Don't specify constraint name simply. Specify like this: constraint friendly name means short name of the constraint, short name, and here actual name, original name. So just compare like this. See, column name, data type, size. Immediately we can specify primary key. Then internally what is happening? The constraint is maintained with system defined number. I don't want to maintain system defined number. I don't want to maintain system defined number. So column name, data type, size, constraint. This is short name of the constraint. So what is the constraint you are defining? Primary key. So PK defined on which column? Roll number. Under which table? Student. I hope you understand. So if you define the column like this, then primary key defined on the column roll number, with this name not with not with the system defined number. It will be defined with given name. Suppose if you don't follow this method, simply you are writing primary key here, then primary key is defined with system defined number. In case of system defined number, we have some problems. What is that? Can't identify what type of constraint, can't identify directly on which column it was defined, and in some cases we cannot differentiate between not null and check constraint. These are the three problems. To avoid these three problems, we will define like this. Define the constraint with user-friendly name. Here, I want to create one more table. Before creation, let me delete the table. Delete the table student. Drop table student. Next, purge table student. So student table permanently deleted. Now create a table student with user-friendly constraint names. Create a table student with user-defined constraints names. User-defined constraint names. How to create? Create table student. Same as yesterday's stud table, but here I am using user-defined name. User-defined names for the constraints. Roll number, number of 2. What type of constraint? Constraint primary key defined on roll number under the table student. Actual name primary key. First column completed. And roll number between 1 and 99. Constraint. Here I am defining check constraint. Check constraint with the user-friendly name. Constraint CK on roll number under the table student. Actual name check. Roll number between 1 and 99. Student name, it's varchar 2 of 10. Not null constraint. Constraint not null defining on S name under the table student space not null. Fee, not fee, course. It's like varchar 2 of 10. Again not null. Constraint not null on course column under the table student. The original name is not null. Next, what are the valid courses? Oracle, Unix. So I want to define check constraint on course. Constraint CK course student and check course in Oracle Unix. completed. And one more, course is completed. Fee is number of 5. It should not null. So constraint not null, defining on fee under the table student, the constraint is not null. Fee minimum 5,000, maximum 10,000. So constraint check fee on the table student, check fee between. See, from here normal line only, yesterday already we discussed it. So only you are adding 2 more components, constraint, friendly name and actual. Fee between 5,000 and 10,000. Next, mobile number MOBNO. Its number of 10. This is number of 10. Unique constraint. Constraint. Friendly name UK. Defining on MOBNO. On the table student. Constraint is unique. Completed. Next, mobile number length. Constraint. So MOB. Here check constraint. CK. Mobile number length. Just I'm using like this. Check mobile number length. I am not writing table name. Okay. And check length of the mobile number. That should be equal to 10. Next, check mobile number beginning. Constraint CK mobile number begin. Check. How to check? MOBNO like 6 percentile or MOBNO like 7 percentile or MOBNO like 8 percentile or MOBNO like 9 percentile. So here check constraint completed on mobile number beginning. Once you finish all these things, come to new line, close the bracket, hit enter. Table created. Table was created. Now let me insert data. In the last session, if we inserting a record into table, if there is any wrong value, it is displaying unique constraint violated and some number. It is displaying some number like that. Or check constraint violated some number. Yes, Saket, you can use multiple check constraints on the same column, no problem. So instead of that numbers, now you can see some difference. What is the difference? Listen. Insert into student values. Student roll number 0. Student name A. Student course Oracle. Student fee 6,000. Mobile number 9866 987711. What it is saying? Check constraint violated, but it is not giving any number here. In the last session, it is giving some number. Let me open last session spool file. See, if you violate any constraint, see here, unique constraint violated, and it is saying username dot constraint number. Now what is happening? It is saying like this: check constraint violated. You can see the difference. Check constraint violated, and it is giving some name. The name you defined here, check roll number student. With this, we cannot identify where we are failing, but with this, you can easily identify. So I am inserting a record. There is a problem. At which place we have a problem? Check roll number. So you can immediately modify roll number value. Similarly, let me insert one more record. Insert into so and so values 11 B. Here null. I am not entering course name, course value 10,000, and there is a mobile number is also null. Course name null, mobile number is also null. What it is saying? Cannot insert null into so and so user, so and so, so and so. So don't insert null value into course. It's not valid. You should enter some value. The value should be, suppose, Unix. Now it will be inserted. In case I am inserting a different course, see here 12x Java. I am using Java. Actually, in our list, Java is not there. Okay, 9008 9008 11. See? So check your course. It is violating some rule. On which column you are violating? Course column. Since Java is not defined on the course column, so let me take it as Oracle. It's very easy to identify the error and see. Next one, 32. Why? Oracle 10,000. 10,000. Sorry. Again. 32. Why? Oracle at the place of 10,000, I am using something like 11,000. And the mobile number is beginning with 8. All are valid except fee. Check fee, whatever the fee you are inserting, check it. Immediately we can verify what is the fee you are inserting. So the fee is 10,000. So let me make it as 10,000. Now it will be inserted. In the next record, let me insert 9-digit length mobile number by mistake. 8. So 3 digits, 3 digits, 3 digits. 9-digit length mobile number. What is the error? Check mobile number length. Check constraint violated. What is the problem? Check the length of your mobile number. So then I can modify. Suppose one more 8. Wait, I will explain. So now, suppose if you are entering a mobile number that is beginning with other than 6789. So like Yogi, and here Unix, fee is 7,100, By mistake I typed 5. Mobile number beginning is 5. See the error. Check mobile number begin. So the beginning mobile number, instead of 6 I typed 5. Then verify it, modify it. Now it was inserted. Check your data. Select star from student. Complete data is valid. There is no invalid data. All values are valid. And also, how to get constraints from this table? Get constraints from the above table. Constraints from the above table. How to get? Select constraint name, comma, constraint type, comma, status of constraint from user constraints where table name equal to student. See here. Just check the difference between today beginning session and ending session. In the today session beginning, we are seeing constraint numbers. In the today's session ending, we are seeing constraint names. So if you take first constraint, what type of constraint it is? Not null. On which column it was defined? Yes, name. From which table the constraint is? Student. This is the real-time scenario. They will follow the same method in the live environment. So short name of constraint, and then on which column it was defined, on which table it was defined. If you follow these three component combinations, the constraint name never repeated in any table in the current user account. Remember, see, primary key RNO student. Suppose if you follow only primary key RNO. Not null is a constraint to control null value. Vijay. See, primary key RNO student, primary key RNO. Listen, one more example. Suppose if I create student one table, here table name is student. If you create student one table, in that table if you have RNO column and you are defining primary key, then what is the constraint name? PKRNO. In the current table, what is the primary key name? PKRNO. So don't repeat constraint names in your user account. Table 1 PKRNO, it should not be repeated on any other table. It should be different. That's why if you take table name also, listen carefully, PKRNO student. In the next table, PKRNO student 1. Automatically, the names are different from table to table. So one constraint name should not be repeated in your current user account. Be careful. That's why we need to follow this method. It is a combination of, the names are combination of short name, column name, table name. NN, 3 not nulls. CK, 5 check constraints. 3 plus 5, 8 constraints. First 8 constraints are represented with C. Check constraint representing with C. Not null is also representing with C. Remember. Now, coming to your questions. Mobile number missing from 1111B, sir. I didn't get you, Vijay. Okay, mobile number missing. Okay, here 11B means roll number 11. There is no mobile number. Actually, according to our requirement, we defined uh, unique constraint on mobile number. Unique constraint don't accept duplicates, but it will accept null values. Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt about the rename column. Hello, I have
Yeah.
a doubt about the alter command.
Yeah. Tell me, what is your doubt?
Sir, actually, can we rename the more than one column with the alter command? Rename the
Alter
column name
name
of more
column,
than.
generally only one column. Only one column you can rename
Actually,
at a time.
okay.
Have you seen multiple columns?
No, actually, I was trying to update the menu more than one column with the rename of alter command. I couldn't
At a time, more
get.
than one column rename is not possible. Or otherwise, try with the same syntax, try it. Rename column, column 1 to new column, comma, column 2 to new column, comma, column 3 to new column. Try it.
Sorry, sir, my actually net I got disconnected.
Yeah. Some problem is there in your net, I think.
Yes.
Try this query. I am typing here. Try it. Try this. Alter table, some table name, rename column. Here column 1 to new name, comma, again column 2 to new name. Try like this.
Okay, I will try.
So this is about how to get constraint names from a table, and also how to maintain user-friendly names for the constraints, and what is the benefit of maintaining user-friendly names for constraints. That's all for today. Tomorrow we will discuss about referential integrity constraints. Referential integrity constraints. Tomorrow we will see that.
Sir, can you send me the video link actually?
Come again?
Last session. Can you send us the video of the
I am unable
last two
to.
sessions? Because
Saket, we are unable to listen your voice. Your voice is breaking.